Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there my Crimsonites, how we doing today? Hopefully we are doing well. We're going to sort of jump into it. Let me see. I don't want them on my ears like that. Okay. You gotta be careful who you listen to on this internet, because the people who get on this internet to talk, depending on what they're talking about, and especially if they call themselves trying to coach somebody or give somebody advice or something like that, need to know about what they're talking about. And that may seem elementary, but it needs to be said, because people are getting on this internet just to hear themselves talk, just to try to gain some type of notoriety for a bag. They're getting on here for clout. People are doing things for a lot of different reasons. And even if the person is not always wrong, or you might agree sometimes, you might disagree, that's almost irrelevant to the point that if you're not listening to somebody purely for entertainment and you're not taking nothing away from what you just saw, if this is something where you're listening to actually try to apply some type of advice, this, that, and the third, like, you need to be careful. I give you Exhibit A. Exhibit A.
Why are you telling that man that you just met, or that you're trying to get to know, that you're abstinent, that you're refraining from intimacy, or that you prefer to be in a relationship before you cross that threshold? Now, y'all know I'm always talking about everybody else's dating life, but a recent conversation about my own dating life brought up this bigger conversation, and I want to share it with you. If you're new here, hi, my name is Tasia. I'm a confidence and dating coach, and I teach women how to control their emotions so that their emotions don't control them. Okay, so boom, a couple of my own personal stories. So I'm talking to this guy, just met the man, okay? And he's like, where are you from? I hear a little accent. I'm like, I'm from Chicago. He's like, oh, word, what brought you up to DC? I'm like, just wanted a new start, Chocolate City to Chocolate City, okay? And he was like, oh, okay, word. So like, your parents back in Chicago too? My parents are dead. My parents are dead. I don't want to tell you that. I don't want to tell you that. So I'm just like, oh, yeah, they back in Chicago. I don't know you, baby. I don't know if I would ever talk to you again. So I don't want to give you little pieces of me. And then now you out in the streets with information about me and my life. Another example. This is just recently. Talking to my homegirl. I'm like, girl, I'm going on a date. I'm actually going on this date today. Y'all pray for me. I'm going on a date. I'm like, big mama, auntie, get out of the house. I'm going on a date. And she's like, oh my gosh, are you going to tell him that you moving to Atlanta in a couple weeks? I'm like, no. Why? Because what is he going to do with that information? If he likes me and he gonna step about me, he gonna step whether I'm in DC or I'm in Alaska. Why? I'm not going to tell him that information, because to me, it's personal things about my life transition that ain't gonna mean nothing to a nigga that's not trying to step about me, right? So I'm not going to tell him that I moved to Atlanta. And I'm bringing this up because there's a larger conversation about women oversharing. When you overshare, these people are taking pieces of you and they're going out into the world, and now they have your personal information. And there is a transfer of energy when a woman feels safe enough to divulge different types of information. And when it doesn't work out with that man, he's walking away with all your stuff. So why would you tell a man that you just met or you're just trying to get to know that you are abstinent when this man may not even come in arm's reach of your vajayjay? He may not be able to smell your vajayjay. So why are you telling him about your own personal journey and what he can and cannot have? Who is this man, right? There's also, y'all, and I'm telling you what I know, there's also something very alluring about mystery and about not telling everything. A lot of y'all are like, why he approached me? He was the one that was pressed about me, and then he got me, and then he fell out because you gave it all up in 1 week. He knows everything about, he knows why your mama lost her kids and why you ended up in foster care, okay? He knows why your daddy wasn't around. He knows everything. What more is there to get to know? Y'all have to learn the art of being alluring, the art of mystery. Stop telling these men all your business. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. And if I'm wrong, put me out of business. Why are you telling that man that you just met?
The irony is that she came to the internet to tell it. You're not going to share certain information with a man you just met, but you will share that very information to thousands of people who are also strangers on the internet. So you're going to have to make it make sense. You're going to have to make it make sense. Ma'am, you just told us the information that you swore to God was too intimate, too personal, and all of that. Mind you, we'll spread this information to women. There are women who will try to think that that was a good idea. They will attempt to apply it. But if y'all was as discerning about who you gave your coochie to as much as you call yourself trying to be discerning about how much information you share and whether or not you overshare with a man that you just met, y'all would be in such better position. Y'all are not that discerning with the sex. Y'all are not that discerning with the sex. I don't get it. You don't want to tell them that your parents are passed away. So you just agree, yeah, my parents are back in Chicago. Now, the catch, the trick and the trap. The trick and the trap is that if you do like this man and the subject of your parents come back up, now you got to tell them the truth. My parents are passed away. When he asks, where are your parents? Or why don't you never talk to them? Or why don't they visit you? Or are you going to visit them? Now, when that conversation comes back up, just in the normal course of things, now you have to go back over it and admit that when the subject of your parents first came up, you lied about it. Now You're willing to tell the truth about it now that you know him better, without understanding that that casts a shadow on your integrity as a person. So you a liar? Because that's how it's going to come off. No matter how you try to explain that you didn't tell the truth from the outset, and why, quote unquote, you didn't tell the truth from the outset, it's going to look stupid. It's going to look real shaky when you do say, my parents are passed away. You're like, why you lie? What you lie for? Oh, because I ain't really know you. I ain't really want you to know. What? There's plenty of people. What you think I'm going to do with the information that your parents passed away? You making it weird. You making it weird. Is there a such thing as oversharing with people that you barely know? Yes. There is a such thing as oversharing. If you had a hard life, traumatic experiences, nobody, especially in the first courses of getting to know you, don't nobody want to hear them sob stories. Okay, that's number one. We trying to get to know you, not your traumas, not your problems, not your level of dysfunctions. All of those things will become apparent. So there is a such thing as running your mouth too much about random goofy things that a person that you only have been talking to a week, couple of times over the phone, couple of times over text message, these people don't need to know that certain things. That I agree with. That should be common sense. I would not tell somebody that I'm just now talking to my deepest, darkest fear or secret or this or that, or the most traumatic thing that ever happened to me, or the most, you know what I'm saying? So there's a such thing as that. You have to be discerning. But if we're going to have that level of discernment there, then we need to have that level of discernment across the board. Like I said, have some discernment about that sex. But y'all vibe right into that, don't y'all? We was vibing. You know what I'm saying? We was feeling it. You know, and all that kind of stuff. And girl, you know what I'm saying? It just ended up happening. And I was with it because, girl, he was fine. And da-da-da-da. You don't know nothing about him. He don't know nothing about you. You done went all to his house. Don't know nothing about nothing. Mind you, these are examples from her own dating situations, or, you know what I'm saying, conversations that she may have had with a guy, this, that, and the third, experiences or whatever. How she a dating coach and a confidence coach for women, has that worked for her? Because she's still not in a solid relationship, because she just said, I'm going on a date. So you're not in a solid relationship. You're certainly not married. You're not even in anything that, you know what I'm saying? You still shopping around and finding these guys however you finding them or however you running into them. None of this stuff has worked for her. To see her gotta be at least in her early 30s, I would say. If she ain't 30, she close. And you a confidence coach trying to help women from what she just said, that's a little tagline, to rule their emotions so that their emotions do not run them. What does that look like? Because I didn't hear any actionable advice about a woman's emotions and how she's supposed to handle them in any particular situation. Are you working with women who have low self-esteem? Because what confidence are we discussing? Confidence in what? Confidence in themselves or confidence in what kind of confidence are we talking about? See, this is what I'm saying. Just stringing words together that may or may not sound good in passing. But when you turn and you think about it and you consider it, it really don't be making no sense. What she just said doesn't make any sense. You want to tell women about dating, but you don't date successfully. This is why I'm pointing this out to women. Because y'all have to be careful about listening to women talk about men that don't have experience with men. It's a lot of people on this internet that have zero idea talking about what they talking about. I'm gonna show you another example. I'm gonna show you another example of not knowing what you're talking about. I'm gonna make this full screen so you can see it. Hey, what's going on, Uncle Rick? Exactly. Exhibit B. Now, not that this woman is trying to coach nobody. This is not what this video is about. But I'm just trying to illustrate a specific point. I'm gonna mute the music or whatever. I'm 36. The caption says, I'm 36 and a little embarrassed to admit that here's the things. I'm sorry. Hold on. My apologies. This is what she's embarrassed to admit, that she's 36. And number one, I've never been in a relationship. I get really nasty comments about this, mainly from men, and it still hurts even now. I've had chances to be in relationships, but always felt like I'd be losing myself to keep someone that wasn't a right fit. Let's deal with that. Let's deal with that first one. I'm going to reread it. I've never been in a relationship, and I get really nasty comments about this, mainly from men, and it still hurts even now. This is the key. I've had chances to be in relationships, but always felt like I'd be losing myself to keep someone that wasn't a right fit. Now, listen to that very last part. I'd be losing myself to keep someone that wasn't a right fit. Where do you think she got that idea? Where do you think she got the concept that when you are in a relationship, you can't risk losing yourself to a person that's not the right fit? She got that from the internet. Exactly. She got that concept from watching God knows how many videos on TikTok and Instagram, and looking at them little Instagram. You know how they have the little a special thought or a deep thought or a different perspective, or you know what I'm trying to say. Y'all had them little Instagrams come up where it's a couple of different slides, and it's like, it's trying to explain something about men or women or marriage or relationships or this or that. Like little inspirational, like little quotables and blah, 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 blah. People don't realize that like 80% of those are written by AI. That's not somebody's expertise. That's like an AI thing. She got the concept that a person has to be your soulmate and this perfect match, and if they're not, then you're gonna lose yourself. And the problem with that is that in this social media world, nobody even understands what a match is and what it isn't. When you are matched, when we are really talking about actually being matched, we're talking about being matched in your values. That's the match that matters. The match that matters is matching up with these things right here, matching up spiritually, matching up with health goals and how you see your health and where your health is at, matching up with concepts and values of surrounding family, surrounding appearance, surrounding dwelling, surrounding mobility, things of that nature, your education, your profession, your leisure, your wealth, all of these things. That's where alignment is. To match up, you're supposed to be trying to match up with values, with people. You're supposed to be aligning yourself with people based on the values, because those are more consistent than emotions and chemistry and vibing and sexual attraction and all of these other things. Okay? Because you can be sexually matched with somebody all you want to, and you would never go no further with that person, because you know for a fact you are not matched. You know for a fact that a relationship would never work, because you've listened to this person espouse some concept or idea or point of view, and it's like, oh, I could never rock with that, but they got good D, but she got good cat. I'll do that for a minute, then it's peace out, because we're not gonna go no further, and you can't go no further. Like it would be such a pointless thing to try to pursue a relationship with that. You don't even think about it. It's like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely would not do that. So the values is where you are supposed to align yourself, because those are the things that people are operating on in their life, whether they say it or not. So you know she got that from social media. The second one. Let's read the second one. Because before I go to the second one, hold on. Before I even go to the second one, the other part of that first thing is that she said she had chances to be in a relationship. So she's single by choices. It's not that there were no men available. It's not that she didn't even like none of the men. But it's funny how the thing that you will have self-fulfilling prophecies. I don't want to have a bad relationship, and I'm so afraid of that every decision that I make actually brings me to a point where I'm either gonna have a bad relationship or I'm not gonna have no relationship at all. You can't be that scared. You cannot be that scared to jump off the porch for something that you swear to God you want. Now you sitting on Instagram wiping fake tears out your eyes at 36, talking about you ain't got no man, but then told us that you could have had a couple of different men through, over the course of the years. And you just didn't. Because you were afraid of some unknown factor that the internet had you scared of. Instead of actually looking at the men and the circumstances and environment that you live in, the reality that's actually in your face about these men and who these men are, and whether or not you actually could have built a healthy, long-lasting relationship with them. Number 2, she says, I have my own place and I've lived in it for over 5 years on my own. I expected that I would have met someone during that time, but it never happened. So I moved back in with my mom because I just got too lonely. But you just said in number 1 that you had chances to be in a relationship, but you were scared. So you admit that you was able to go stand on your own 2 feet, get a job, yada, 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 pay rent, blah, 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 blah. But you decided that you could not tolerate being in a relationship. I'm going to tell y'all a little something before we go on commercial break. Losing myself, when we talk about it in these terms, how she's talking about it in this little clip, When we talk about losing myself, what that means in hyena speech is I would have to be considerate of another person. I no longer get to make all of my decisions unilaterally because I'm the only one, more or less, that my decisions affect. So therefore, since there's no one else in my life that I need to consider to that degree, then I can just make unilateral decisions. But if I get into a relationship, especially an actual relationship, not a situationship, not a friends with benefits or nothing like that, but what it ends up being is I don't want to have to consider someone else in the decision making, in choices, and in my life because I've gotten accustomed to being selfish as a single person. I've gotten accustomed to it. So since I've gotten accustomed to just sort of doing my own thing, good, bad, or indifferent, with no one to correct me or check me or pull my coattail or consult with or to bring another perspective or anything like that, I like it this way. So being in a relationship means that I can't just unilaterally and spontaneously move the way I want to. And it's too much for me to consider somebody else. Yet I want to be in a relationship, and those two things don't match. You cannot be in a relationship, in a marriage, you can't be in a relationship without consideration of the other person that is also in the relationship. You can't do it. And so I don't be believing women when they be talking about, oh, I want to be in a relationship so bad. But then when you let them talk, they be like, oh, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that and I don't want nobody in my space and I don't want nobody talking to me and I don't want to. So you don't want a relationship. Talking about. So you just don't want a relationship. Just say, I like the relationship in theory. In theory, a relationship would be okay. But in reality, I actually don't want a relationship with anybody. We're going to continue to go down because that's a very interesting list she got. But after these messages, we'll be right back. I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to keep your skin looking and feeling and smelling its absolute best, then you need the body butter on your screen because spring is upon us. Okay, it's getting warmer and warmer in the places in the United States that have winter time. It is now trying to be spring. And so we know Black people got to be moisturized as the sun come out because we are not trying to have ashy elbows, knees, and ankles. So you need to click the link at the top of the chat, ashkicking.com, so that you won't be ashy. And if this is the first order that you're going to be making, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout. Once again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Sponsorship links are also always in the description of every video and live stream. Okay. Oh, you guys are bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button. Bam, bam. You gotta go ahead and hit the like button. Thank you. Grady said, but it's okay to ask a man for money you just met. Thank you, anyone hit us up twice. Says she's not a virgin, of course, but she's a virgin and never being in a healthy relationship. That's most women. Said great content, Crimson. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And here we go.
One, two.
It feels amazing. I like how it's making you do the push.
This right here is official. Never really saw anything like this before. How do you know when you're doing the proper push up? You gotta go all the way down, chest touching the floor, coming back up full extension. But now that you told me how to do it, now how you know when you're doing it? You don't know, and you won't know unless you have what it is. Nah, that was fine. That was fine. It makes sure it keeps you accountable. Accountability is everything. So
incredible. You can't cheat. You gotta go all the way down and all the way up, and that's one solid rep. Good money.
That's it. It's no arguing, no debating, no questioning. All the way down, all the way up. You got to start and finish the same way.
She got my shit.
I'm glad.
Fucking crib right now.
All right. So the link for this is also pinned to the top of the chat. And as before, all of our sponsorship links are always in the description of every live stream and every video. So you can always click on theproperpush.com/VIP in order to unlock your VIP exclusive offer. The VIP exclusive offer is a membership deal, and you can lock it in for just $1. The perks are reserved for founding members who help us with our Kickstarter campaign and who jump in at the beginning. All right. There's only 100 spots. So once they're gone, they're gone. And what you get for this is 20% off from the Proper Push when the product is actually ready to launch. All right. Once again, just 100 spots for the VIP people. That's $100 value off from the product. You get Proper Push merch exclusive deals. You get instant alerts when the Kickstarter goes live and first access to early bird Kickstarter rewards. So the way in which you do this is to simply click the link at the top of the chat, put in your email, click reserve VIP now. And that's just going to let you verify the email and you're signed up. But if you want to actually unlock the VIP exclusive offer, you're going to have to check your email again, because you will receive an email listing all of these perks and giving you the opportunity to lock in your spot for that $1. Okay. All right. Now we're going to get back to this. Now, the number two thing that she said, I have my own place and lived in it for 5 years on my own. I expected I would have met someone during that time, but it never happened. So I moved back in with my mom. It just got too lonely. Number 3, I've had many close friends who aren't close anymore. Changing priorities means they didn't really have time or scope to stay in my life. Friendship breakups have broken my heart more than anything else. That means that her friends moved on. These friends probably got married. These friends probably was able to better themselves in some kind of way, healed in some type of way, improve their life in some type of way. And she was left behind, stuck in the same mindset, stuck in the same perpetuating thought patterns that have kept her in the same spot. So those friends have to go. They probably didn't want to let go of the friendship. However, you outgrow people. And it's easy to outgrow people who don't grow. It's easy to outgrow people who stay in the woe is me. Whatever it is, that's a woe is me for them. Being married to victimhood. Being married to the victimhood and the circumstances of their life, whatever those may be. Because change makes you not a victim anymore. Now you have to take responsibility for where you are in your life and what's happening in your life and what kind of decisions that you've made to bring you to this point. So as long as you can wallow in woe is me, you can be a victim. And as long as you're a victim, you don't have to have responsibility for where your life is at. It's hands off. I'm an innocent bystander in my own life. Stuff is just happening to me. I don't know why. I don't know why it's so bad. And I don't know what to do about it. Number 4, she says, I put off doing a lot because I have no one to share things with. I'm quite adventurous by nature and have traveled a lot on my own. But after a while, being on your own gets tiring. No one to bear witness to all of your memories fills me with so much pain. Told you all of that getting online, talking about traveling, and you got a little couple of dollars to rub around in your pocket. You know, you kind of able to kind of do the things that you want to do. I told you that's not fulfilling. This ties back into what I was talking about the last time we had a live stream. And I don't think the women actually in the chat took it well. And even in the comment section. So I'm not going to say that. But we're the help. And I know that I was being purposely triggering when I was talking about that. But the reason why it's come full circle back to it is because for as non-glamorous as being the help is, that's actually where the fulfillment is at. It's ironic because being the help is not glamorous. Nothing glamorous about it. You're not going to get the accolade. You're not. Most of the time, and this is why I'm going to answer the men's question about why is it that there is not more lionesses than it is hyenas. The reason that it's not more lionesses is because the lioness has simply accepted that her job, no matter how fabulous she does it, will 9 out of 10 times be invisible and thankless. Because if she's a good mom, and I mean a genuinely good mom, not a woman that says she's a good mom, But a genuinely good mom, her kids not going to appreciate none of that unless and until they get grown. Once they get grown and maybe even have to have kids of their own, then they'll be able to circle back to their mama. And be like, mama really was holding me down. Like mama really was like 10 toes down for me. It's a invisible thing. Being a good wife, low-key invisible. Because there's a such thing as doing your job so well that you do kind of get not necessarily taken for granted, but it's more like I'm so used to things getting done, I ain't got to say nothing. I'm so accustomed to my wife doing what she need to do that I don't say nothing. So you have to accept that these things are simultaneously true. You're trying to escape the reality that you're the help. And you're attempting to find fulfillment in all of these different things that don't fulfill you as a woman. Running away from it. The irony is that that's the thing that you're running away from is actually the thing that gives you the fulfillment. You just have to accept that it's not glamorous. Don't nobody care about what you're doing. I was talking to my husband about this the other day. This very thing. And I was saying how when men are in their element, when they are righteous and then they are doing what they supposed to do in this earth and they are leaders and they are, you know what I'm saying, just really for that, really on the ball, the whole world notice. Whatever room they step into, that energy is unmistakable and it's admirable. There is a glamour to it. Not glamour. Glamour is the wrong word. There's a prestige to it. There's a status to it. There's a respect that come with it. There's a awe and an admiration that come with it, as well it should be. Right? As well it should be. Somebody gonna respect that man. Quite a few people gonna respect that man. Whether they know him or not. Whether they benefit directly from him or not. Right? Cool. A woman can be the best possible mother, wife, righteous, lioness. The world do not care about that at all. The only people that care anything about you doing any of that is the people who are directly affected. Your husband will care whether you're a good wife or not, and your children will care if you are a good mother or not. Your family, the people who are directly connected to you, they will have an opinion. and the care about whether or not you're actually doing what you're supposed to do. That's it. And you got to be okay with that. Stop running away from that. That woman can walk into a room and her family knows she's a absolute gem. The people that she walked into that room with don't know and don't care. She's just a woman. The only reward that you about to get for being a good wife and mother is from Allah. That's the only reward you finna get. You gotta die to get your reward. You gotta die to get it. You're not gonna get it in this world. You gotta die to get it. If you got a reward coming, it's gonna have to come from the Most High. Yo, atta girl, that pat on the head you looking for, because her point that she made is for most of these women that feel like that. I'm doing all this other stuff, but I don't have the relationship, the companionship, you know what I'm saying, to make it a whole thing. It's not whole. It's not whole. The other one, number 5. I often use the quote, "What's for me won't pass me," as a crutch to accept my reality. After so many years of putting myself out there, traveling, being successful, etc., I'm just tired of trying to find the one, and that's the real reason I don't date anymore. All of that ties together. That one tied into the one before. This is the same echoing that Ari Lennox just said when I did a live stream about her, when she was talking to the other ladies, saying, man, I thought that my success and this and that, and you know what I'm saying, would be fulfilling, and that men would feel some type of way about it, and that it would net me this other part of the goal that I want, which is the man and the relationship. But lo and behold, these two things don't have nothing to do with each other. The things that I was doing professionally, that has nothing to do with whether or not men want to be in a relationship with me. This the same thing. And y'all just not coming to this recognition and realization. Number 6, which is the last one. I've often been told that I'm so funny or smart or kind, but honestly, I find that hard to believe. My heart has broken so many times at the idea of not being lovable that I don't think there's anything left to break. So now she thinks she's not lovable. Why? There was probably a man somewhere that would have loved you. And let me be real honest. Ladies, I need y'all to listen, especially the single ones. The single ones, I need you to listen. You don't have to bind yourself to a man just because he like you. Stay with me. Just hear me out. Okay. There have been men that liked me, but I knew that a relationship with that man would not work. What you do is you leave them men alone. Don't waste his time. Don't lead him on. Don't allow him to orbit you as a friend. Don't take nothing from him. Because if you truly in your heart don't want that man, you won't be doing nothing but making a problem for that man in his life. I knew that. There were instances where it's like, I'm going to be a problem to him because I don't really like him. And he's he seemed all right guy. You know, nothing wrong with him. Like, not a bad dude, I guess. But there are things that I'm hearing and seeing. It's going to be a no. However, just because you can't make it, or you know you can't make it with a particular man, you still have to be the best person that you can. And then there will be a man that you do align with. Once you find the man that you actually align with, the second part of that is that you have to understand the 80-20 rule. You will not get 100% of quote unquote everything that you were looking for, because what you have to understand, ladies, is that a lot of times on the stuff that we are looking for don't make no sense. No way. It's stuff that we got in our head, but that is not really reality. And it's not only is it not going to be out reality with this guy, it's not going to be reality with no guy. You got to get over it if you're getting over it. Get over all that selfish, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Get over it if you're getting over it. If you can't get over it, leave a whole conversation alone. There are going to be things that you can't, it's like, okay. And then you have to have discernment about what those things are. Is the alignment there? Is he most of what you're looking for in a man, or think you can get in a relationship with this man? Of course, we know that things like physical attraction, and those things play a role. We can't ignore that stuff. Nobody's gonna ignore it. No one is going to ignore not having no physical attraction to people. That's not even going to be real. That's not even a part of the conversation. All of that fantasy about it's going to be this and that, especially if you ain't never been in a relationship, you don't know what's reasonable and what's not when we talk about the nuances of the actual relationship. You don't know. Stuff like, I'm going to lose myself in the relationship. If it's a healthy one, yes, you will. Let me rephrase that. The longer a woman stay with a man, whether the relationship is good or bad, we will lose ourselves in it, because that is the nature of the beast. You do not maintain 100% autonomy and the ability to unilaterally move in your life once there is a relationship in that you are a part of. That is just not going to be reality. You will become part of that man for good or bad. And becoming part of him is either going to help you or destroy you. Choose wisely. That is why discernment is so important. Um, it was subtle both times, actually. It was like, oh, oh, okay. And you have to make a decision about it. You have to make the decision that the faults that you see today, you have to assume that these faults will be the same faults forever. Women have an issue with that because I think both people might have an issue with that. Thinking that the other person's flaws will somehow not be flaws later on, or that they can help the person not have the flaw or mitigate it somehow or something like that. And you can't. You have to decide, make the decision that you can either accept that person's flaws or not, because what if they don't never get rid of them? Then what, you gonna be mad? So you just gotta know, you gotta do the best you can to know what you walking into with somebody. Because you might have to walk that walk forever. Women often hope that certain things will change, but they don't. This is true. Most people nowadays, I'm gonna say this too before we get out of here. Most of the young people today, both the men and the women, the concept of work when it comes to a relationship is foreign, and they have some kind of belief that if you have to work at a relationship, then it is a bad relationship, or that that person is not the right person for you if you have to work at making sure that a relationship is a good one. That's crazy. And that comes from not seeing hardly no relationships. Marriages ain't nothing but work. It's all work. All of it. Even the fun parts of the relationship are work. You don't get to hit cruise control. Not really. Hmm. It's work, and marriage is adaptability. Gotta adapt. Because your spouse's needs are going to change. The things that they need from you, whether emotionally or things of that nature, those things can change. And you got to be ready to go with the flow with that. Yeah. Working for stuff. It's like, no, but it should happen like this. It should happen like that. The young women don't think that they supposed to work for the relationships. I can just be here. The young men too. They think, well, why I gotta lead her? Why I gotta tell her stuff? Because you do. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.